as you watch this little immature buck walk through here, I want to discuss rubs. That's what this video is going to be about. And a buck rubs a tree for many different reasons. You can research this on the internet or buy a book on it. He's showing his dominance. It's a visual as well as a scent marking with his preorbital gland and the forehead glands. It even identifies the deer, establishes the social ranking. But for us, or for me as a hunter, there's two main reasons I want to look at the rub. Is it a mature buck? And can I determine the direction of his travel? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, I'm back up here on National Forest. I'm probably about 1.5 miles deep into the National Forest here, and I've got some late season rubs, and I will talk about rubs just a little bit. This might be information you already know, but this is just the way I look at rubs. So I've got an old rub here, and on the back side of that tree I've got a rub. Over there I've got a rub as well. So historically, this has been an area where bucks like to rub trees. But I know also that for the last 2 or 3 years, a buck has been rubbing late in here. And I started hunting this buck about 3 years ago. I didn't get to hunt him much, but last year I hunted quite a bit in here, but I never got a shot at him. Actually, never saw him. But when I look at these rubs and look at the diameter of the tree, you got to remember the buck's primary rubbing in between his brow tines. Now, he can rub any length of the beam he wants, but most of the time you see the bark caught in down at his bases, because you remember he's got the preorbital gland. He's putting scent on this. This is a visual marking as well as a scent marking. But when we look at this rub right here, I'm looking at this right here's broke off, and that's about 7-8 inches back. This is broke off, and then this has got hit. So if we got brow tines here, and he's rubbing, and if the brow tines are fairly long, it means he can get around on this diameter of the tree more. Okay, so this is a fairly large diameter tree. It's about the size of your forearm, and he got 3/4 of the way around this tree. So that tells me that it's a pretty wide buck. It's between his brow tines. He may have long tines because he broke this briar off, and if you've tried to break briars with your hand, they're pretty solid. So he's got some good tine length, because you got a brow tine coming in here, then you got this P2 or G2 coming off in the back, hitting over here as well. These were broke off and this tree was bumped. So is that giving me an indication of how wide he is? Potentially. But it's definitely a mature buck that's making this rub, and then based on this rub line, I can pretty much determine that his direction was coming from left to right, or west to east. He's going right along through here in this thicket. He's working his way around, and there's more rubs on down through there. So, take a look at the rubs, take a look at how high they are off the ground, the diameter of the tree. Obviously any buck can rub a big diameter tree, but a lot of times big bucks do rub big trees. If their beams come together too close in the front, sometimes big bucks have to go to the small trees. But look at these rubs, get as much information as you can from them, and that'll help you become more successful when you hunt these deer, whether it's early season, mid-season, or late season. We gotta look at these things objectively, collect all this data, and then try to process it, because we're coming in here, and the way I look at it is a football field is just over an acre. So if a buck is using 150 to 300 acres for his home range, that's 150 to 300 football fields. And I'm trying to set up a stand and get within bow range of that buck. So we got to use as much information as possible as we can, so we can become more successful. So I hope that tip on rubs helps you out a little bit, and we'll see you next time.